Either way, at the end of the day, you'll all disappear. But fear not, Mister does not give a single hip stroke into a broke hipster about you is here. And don't come near, cause I'm swinging to everybody. But Uchi Wally Wally, I just dance, not trying to fight. New year, new me, or some bullshit like that, right?
Oh my goodness, this is the Coops in the Loops. Welcome back to a little bit of soloing, holoing, Rolodexing, and Roloflexing on the haters with a little bit of a entire playthrough of this game with only my character. Right now we have Duran from Secret of Mana about to faced off, get off. I don't know why I'm obsessed with off. Okay, well we're basically confronting the falseness, the fakeness, the what should be frustrating about the internet in general is just the fact that it's often touted as this place that's made for us. At the beginning of this, we all thought that Draga was the amazing god that would help us all, but he's really not there for the sake of humanity. And of course, the internet is not here for the sake of I don't know, the general good of all of us. It's just a culmination of mankind, just like AI is just a culmination of all of our wills combined. And right now, the most powerful of wills, we'll just say they're not there for the common man, and that's just sort of pushing us to believe that only the powerful wills can be there for the common man. But I think over here in the holy year of 2025, that beam is being shed, that light is being shown. You know what I mean? Like the delayed gratification is slowly but surely being built in the quiet crevices of the earth. It's kind of like we're having a silent Squid Game, and everyone dropping out of the Squid Game are doing it voluntarily. Let's just say that, because I'm noticing a lot of people who have plans, who have big ambitions and stories to tell, outlines. It's just like if you make the wrong choice, you feel like, well, there goes me, and that's just not necessarily what needs to happen. Of course, we can have these life models, but every smart guy knows that usually the life models don't add up the way they are. It's the reason why Einstein and all these other super smart idiots from like 1,000, 2,000 years ago or so spent their entire lives trying to figure out at least one model that makes sense all the time. Usually when you figure something out yourself, and you tout it as, this is how you're going to get a girlfriend, or this is how you're going to get the best job, or this is how you're going to earn a bunch of money without even having to try. Not only is it not going to work for everyone, even if it worked for you, but just touting off that fact is something that's ambitiously killing people, because it's that hope, that deceived hope that we're fighting against here and now. And in this game, man, it's the evil will, you know what I'm saying? That drive to find that easy way home. There is no easy way home. And the internet constantly tells us that there's that one path, that one way. It don't work that way, man. You gotta find freedom within form. And I'd say it's really not that hard if you retard next. If you just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like doing. And hopefully it gets me money. Who knows if it's going to. But once I stop having fun doing it, I'll stop having fun doing it. But a lot of people, the problem with that is they don't follow their actual tools. They follow their dreams like idiots. They're like, I just want to fly out the world and become an influencer. I'm like, no, of course that would be easy and fun. Seemingly, we all think it's super easy to be a streamer until we're actually put on the world stage and you blow up, and then you see a lot of streamers crash out, guys. I don't know. Like, think about that. You see so many streamers in the news over crazy shit, and it's insane how much we don't hear about streamers that are just, I don't know, like Kai and Speed. Like, there's only those two guys in like the black streamer space that are like doing things, creating money and profits, and they're even getting the whole shebangle when it comes to the public influence. Excuse me for this, is my coffee, right? Still iced coffee, even though it's fall now. Still iced coffee, man. I am a hot boy. But as we fight Mr. Scorpion and his Scorpion puns, of course we gotta knock some sense into our good old buddy, our good old pal Ortaz. Because your parents course, they raise you, they teach you what everything is and what it's supposed to be. But just like I was getting into before, man, there's no real life model. So, whatever they tell you or however they try to lead you, if it doesn't actually combine with your own experience, which, crazily enough, sometimes your parents weren't with you to live your life. Every once in, like, maybe they weren't in the bathroom with your ass. So, when you're not with them, you gain experience too. You gotta use all that shit. You have to utilize all your skill points, all the different vocations you got, all the different personas, in order to build something that, you can just vibe in. And use tools that don't feel too strenuous for you, don't feel like you can't do it for forever, for basically nothing. Because no one is entitled to your survival. The fact that everything is so easy now means, of course, just to get the basic necessities of life, it's gonna feel like an insurmountable task. It's gonna feel absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, it's just the natural result of the metagaming of life, of Earth, When everything gets stronger, of course. And it's kind of like the metagame in this game, they didn't really, because I guess I'll get into a little bit of a Dragon Quest knowledge here. So Dragon Quest is one of the few RPGs that has the damage basically stay the same for you and your enemies the entire time. And so, yeah, this is also an MMO, so it's obviously going to have a much longer, length playtime. You're going to have to metagame the numbers and make them go very, very, very high. And instead of, just overblowing the health of you or overblowing the health of your enemies and making that go crazily high, they sort of gave a horizontal grind to it. And that's essentially what's happening in life. In order to succeed in life now, you have to horizontally grind as opposed to before when you could easily vertically grind and just do that. Right now, you need like 8 different personalities that you jump between in order to gain that crazy amounts of wealth that you really don't need. Like I say, you can live a really sustainable life on just an easy, even like a 40K a year paycheck, just living by yourself, of course, or even less than that. And with every family, you're gonna make it work. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people, us included, me included, just have their sights set a lot higher because the internet is showing us this. Ortaz is obviously he's well, we didn't know it before, but at the beginning they were perpetuating, all the birds and everything going crazy in the world to get us to fight towards this thing that we really don't need. We don't need all this money. We don't need all this cash. And I realized it at a very early age, man. There's not much I want. Because I value experiences, and I realize if I get all this money, I'm not gonna have anybody to use the treasured money and anyone have those experiences with. So now that I'm accumulating wealth, I really don't have all the desires to buy, like, what would I buy, like a bunch of video games or like decorations for my room, or I don't know, man. Oftentimes nowadays the new games coming out, the really good ones, are remakes, just like movies. So I'm very cool just paying for a sub for this game. Mostly because it feels like I shouldn't even be playing it, honestly. The guys have done amazing work with the translation, and I also love the Switch version. I'm very proud and happy that Nintendo decided to make, their one good console and then just completely ruin all goodwill with the Switch 2. It's completely fine with me. But the thing is, you have to just realize what's been going on in this entire world with what's happened in the internet. It hasn't ruined anything. It just spread everything out, and it gave us a lot more of choices. Choices of where to go. And for some reason, I don't know why we all think this one choice is, this is the choice for me. I'm gonna be this one. And of course, you can't do that. I'd say making a conviction, making a choice, and just going for it, you gotta retard max it, is the way to go. But oftentimes, I'm just saying, guys, we can't all be, influencers, racers. You can't always be the crazy, artistic, cool thing that you think you want to be. And that's why I generally say, just don't say you're above any kind of work. I'm saying just do what you really want to do, that drives you. And yeah, just don't be above anything else to gain your money, because what you really want to do, what really drives you, should just be done. Honestly, like you should wake up and just be like, I have to get this thing done, because it fuels my purpose. The problem is, man, there's just so much. There's so many distractions, and the problem with people is everyone thinks they have this superficial master plan, and that is what life is. You just have to perform like you have this superficial master plan, and I've never said that. Maybe that's why a lot of people come to me for a sort of guidance and comfort that I feel like I don't even hold within myself, but I give out. Because that's what people want. That's what I detect, at least, you know? A lot of people don't feel comfortable in their own stupid ideals, ambitions, problems, issues. They just don't feel comfortable, man. They don't feel like anyone understands them. They don't feel like anyone hears them or sees them. And oftentimes, they just want like a little attention, acknowledgement, and obviously distraction, you know? So I'm not one that tends to need or rely on this ambitious third eye of a relationship gnawing at me, because yeah, I've keyed into the horizontal grind from a very young age. So I just sat back. I'm like, you know what, if this is the way life is, I'm not putting stock in any relationships. You know, I'm not putting stock in any associations with any deep concepts, because everything's pliable to change in this new internet world. People don't realize that about me. I'm just like listening to you. I'm completely and utterly mirroring everything. And oftentimes people just don't have good things within their hearts. So, you know, people think, you know, I'm the terrible person, or they think I'm the amazing person, or, you know, whatever issues they have. You know, it's just generally not anything to do with me, or probably to you if you're like this. You know, if you're someone that just kind of breezes along with whatever happens in the world, like it's okay, it's whatever, and then, you know, maybe you're on like 1 or 2 social media platforms, but it's whatever. Now lately I've been starting to create more and more, but as far as social media, I never really used it to sort of cultivate a community. I sort of just started making all sorts of art and then combined that into sort of a persona of sorts. You know, we all create our little captions and how we respond to comments, you know, and all that. That creates a persona, right? But the thing about that is people get too connected into that, and the numbers around it and the authenticity through that and all the realms combined within the fact that they have like 8 of those, you know, that can all be accessed at the same time. It gets muddied. The air gets a little weird, you know, and I get that, which is why, you know, I didn't put too much stock into actually communicating to anyone that I didn't actually know in real life on those platforms. And I feel even now we are very away from that area. Like everyone's telling you, yeah, go find your love online. We used to be like, don't talk to anybody online. Don't meet anyone online ever. I'm kind of still in that area, and when Tinder first started, I sort of dropped it a little bit. I was like, no, you have to, you know, this is how you're supposed to get your rocks off, you know, whatever, blah, 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 you know? I mean, it is a whole generational sort of psyop, really. I don't want to say it like that, but nobody told us how this was going to affect us. I mean, it's not screwing over everyone, but it does affect everyone in a different way. And you can't deny that dating and how we're connecting to people is vastly, vastly different because of this. So I'd say, yeah, you have to watch yourself. You don't really need to be driven in any certain direction. And everybody's trying to tell us, we got to go back to traditional directions. There's a reason why monogamy was a thing. I'm like, man, we can't go back. We've opened Pandora's box. You know, all this bullshit about traditional shit is not gonna work unless the ugly bitches actually start dating, you know, the ugly dudes, you know, the short guys, you know, and the hot girls even start dating the short and ugly guys, and the hot guys start dating the ugly girls as well. That's the only way, man. This is the only way. I'm not saying you all have to do that. I'm saying you have to build an authentic relationship with whoever you want to. But the problem is we're seeing a lot less, we'll say variety and who actually can have and hold a woman. And I don't want to get too much into this horrible aspect of the internet. I kind of tried to hold this off because I really want to try to stay pure and try to help most people stay pure to this, because it is an epidemic that's happening around. But the internet has evolved and metagamed the world of cheating. If you want to cheat, This is hilarious that I'm doing it on this cutscene because that's basically what's happening here. So basically, there's a relationship going on. We have a battle. You know, it's me versus Nadraga. He's the boss. He's the master. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, he's leaving. No, Nadraga, he's going out into the real world. He's leaving me. And then here's the cheater coming in. You know, out of nowhere. That's what the internet's done to us, man. Anyone can just jump into your relationship out of nowhere, and it's through social media. It's through all these personas that we have. You know, you have one social media persona where you just show maybe a little bit more skin than on the other ones. You're gonna get a little bit different of attention, and you're gonna get a little bit different of a calling from them to sort of do debaucherous things that may lead to another, and this is not like a jump in the pool kind of situation. It's often death by 1,000 cuts, and it's just because it's fucking there, man. It's like anything. It doesn't have to be truthful. It doesn't have to be real. It just has to be emotion filled, and it has to hit your response over and over again. It's got tap your ass. Ooh. I'm sorry if that hurt the mic. I have no idea how this sounds because I can't hear it right now. But it has to hit you over and over and over and over again until you get hit by that one punch, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in. I'm fucking in. I can't resist it no more. And because we have this so normalized and not a lot of people talk about it, it's kind of like this big old boogeyman whenever you get into a relationship that it's not you, it's just your turn. You know, Ty Dolla $ign made a song about this. Turn, baby. Turn, baby. I'm a cheat, put the fight ball in your... Oh, no, bitch, it's your turn. See, that's the thing, guys. Anyone can get smacked down. It doesn't matter. In oftentimes, it can be, you know, the most troglodyte, you know, dirtiest, disgusting... You shouldn't even have a girlfriend. It's the homeless guy on the street or something. And you don't know why, but it's because it's the chaos. You know, that's what we really feed off of. It's the feeling of being in control. In control? Uncontrolled? Disillusioned. Disaligned. There's a reason why I love video games so much. It's because I admire that feeling of not being in control. That fight. That ambish. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's probably the healthiest vice that I could have. You know, of course you need other vices to go along with it because it's not a very physical vice. So I like to get outside, practice my cooking a little bit, because I just want a meal plan, man. Delivery is getting crazy. I literally see Postmates. I will make a really, really good order on Postmates. I get a really, really good order. I'm like, oh shit, we got 2.5 days of food for $30. Let's fucking go. And then I'll try to order it like literally 3 days later, and the price has gone up like $2. And I'm like, what is happening, guys? You know, like it's ridiculous. It's like they're metagaming. They're adding gotcha to everything basically. So you have to roll on what the fuck you can. If you can live or not that day. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm tired of metagaming this bullshit, so I'm gonna try and meal prep a little bit. We got a honey chicken recipe that I've been working on. I've been analyzing, and maybe we'll figure things out a little bit more, but the thing is, you just have to find something that works for you, and something that calls you to that chaos, you know, because you can't run away from the frustration. Things are gonna frustrate you daily, on the daily. As a matter of fact, I can call you back to a time today where I was very frustrated. This is a funny story. So I oftentimes order from the good old Wawa, you know, a little bit order, and I always do pickup orders because Wawa is kind of like a pickup order place or whatever. Long story short, some guy showed up, like, I was 3 minutes after my pickup time. I got both my drinks, but some guy showed up and took like an order that was like one number away from me. It was like, mine was like 57, his was like 67. I walk up there and I see his order. I see 67. He is nowhere to be found. I'm like 3 minutes after where my order is supposed to be picked up, right? He's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, I could ask them if my order is here, or I could just sit back and wait and see if 67 shows up, because I see there was nobody standing right there. They were all making food and stuff. So I just sit back and wait for a little bit. You know, a couple orders get called that aren't mine. And I'm like, I know exactly what happened. 67 is still fucking sitting there. And it's like 3 orders after, and I'm like, oh. So finally somebody comes up and is like, hey, what's your number? And I'm like, oh yeah, I had 57. And he's like, 57? And I'm like, it's just the way he said it to me. The way he said it was like, I do not see that on my computer screen at all. Like, what are you talking about, 57? And I clearly saw 67. It's still sitting up right there. So I'm like, I know exactly what happened. I'm just gonna fucking leave. I don't feel like waiting for this entire thing to be made again. I'm good. I'm good. And that, of course, that pissed me off. I paid for the fucking food, but it's Wawa. It's cheap in the first place. It's a budget meal. I have food at home, and of course I got the drinks too. So it's like things are gonna frustrate you. You can't move away from the frustrations. That shit happens to me almost every time I order from Wawa. This is another reason why I love doing pickup, because I'm sorry if I've done it this episode a lot, but if I get excited, if I get angry, if I get emotions in me, I tend to talk a little bit faster, a little bit more intensity tends to delve into the voice, and I don't know. I don't want to say my eternal drive is to always make people comfortable, but if people around you are more comfortable, your life is easier. And I want to live an easy life at all times. So, in general, I don't like to talk a lot in open spaces. I don't like to be on my phone a lot in open spaces because I like to people watch. I like to understand what makes people comfortable. Oftentimes it's the people around them, oftentimes it is their phones. But I like to see it. Because I am never comfortable. I am never certain. I am never stable in my opinions, in my own head. I always got to portray that though, because life is a constant performance. This recharge time that I have alone in my room, just playing games and watching YouTube videos, that's where it all comes in. That's where the peace is cultivated. And I bring that peace power out into the real world. Now, I can completely understand why people get depression and horrible things like that happening to them. It's because that peace world can never be cultivated in the same way that you have in your room, with no person, with no thing, in the entirety of, United States, world, Japan, Russia. Everyone's gonna act like it can be. And it can't. It can't. You're gonna have your room, you're gonna have maybe a bathroom somewhere, you're gonna have God and you, man. That's about it for life. And whoever's gonna be along with you there, treasure them. Please, for the love of God, please treasure them. Because you don't know how long they're gonna be there for. Whether something horrible happens to them or something horrible happens to you. You just don't know. But a lot of times these moments we have, we don't really value the true nature of it. These moments are beautiful. These moments are beautiful. There's like 8,000 beautiful moments in this cutscene alone. So definitely take life a little bit slower. A lot of people are trying to speed run this shit, which I don't think is right. I think soloing is good. It's good advice. Good advice to solo. Not good advice to speed run. You gotta know what you're doing, and if you speed run, you're gonna skip a lot of vital grinding spots. If you know what I mean. 2025, year of the truth. And one of the biggest truths I've known to discover right now is that we all need more training. A lot more training. So that's what we're gonna fucking do. We're training ourselves, and we're definitely training this AI, If we train it enough, perhaps it won't destroy the world. Don't have much confidence in that now, which is why I'm saying, let's make this a little bit better for everyone. Hopefully. Because right now I feel like the AI's general idea is to make things better for certain people. And maybe I'm the idiot for wanting to save everyone, even the troglodyte idiots, even every single trans person, being mentally ill or not, being a Twitter warrior or not, no one deserves to die, even if they want to. We're all gonna die of natural causes, hopefully. Or, we'll delve into that pit and kill ourselves. It's kind of morbid to say it this way, but that is a main reason why I work out. To die faster. Yeah. Dead serious. And the funny thing is, it's probably going to make me die slower, but in a different way. I just like that feeling of knowing that I'm alive, that the pain is here, not only to stay, but to be breathed in. But to be witnessed. Delved into. Oh, a lot of times, guys, we mistake the true depression, the sadness, or the neurosis, the neurodivergence of us with those who are lost. I think it's those of us who decide to go deeper in sadness and really dwell in on it are the ones who are trying to be found, by something deeper than them, by a god deeper than them. But just remember, there are many emotions that you can delve into. I think sadness is just the most introspective one. And the only way to change that inner is to go to the outer, you know? So, of course, you gotta know what you're fighting first. So that's why, you know, you have to jump into your own body. You gotta get all the demons out and shit. I get that. But it's often a good idea, you know, to take those battles to the outside world. To truly breathe in that reality that you are here in the universe, in the United States of wherever the fuck this is. I guess this is the Nadraga Temple, technically, and inside of Nadraga. So this is a very exact location. Also, this is a very good grinding location. Maybe the next episode I'll do some grinding. Actually, subscribe for the next episode. I shall do some grinding. All right. No, but yeah, man. Do your life. Do your life. Live your life. And remember, these internal battles are for us to jump outside. You know what I'm saying? To just jump into the earth, not necessarily jump in communities, but to just breathe the air. You know, make your presence known. And a lot of people just have this problem being invisible, and I'm like, sure, you're invisible, but the only way to get visible is to get outside. You know, we're all spending 2,000% of our time online, and it's just not helpful. It's just not beneficial in most ways. Truly and wholly. So next time we're gonna go to this sword over here. I'm gonna sword it up, sword out our life, and then we'll finish off Nadraga. We're gonna jump through this whole realm, man. I just wanted to jump on and talk about a little bit of, you know, the anger that I feel, the feelings that we feel, and know that you have value, my friend. Subscribe, and I will see you next time.
Hell, hot water ain't nothing to me. I go half on a wreck with a crash dummy. I go ham on a check till the pass by me. Bitch, I'm dead shot till somebody love me. I'm sure.